Hello and welcome to the Astrology in You podcast. I'm Kerry Hourigan, and today we'll be looking at the full moon in Gemini coming up on the 8th of December 2022, the placement of the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, Mars conjunct the full moon, and much more. But firstly, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the original land carers, the Awabakal people, where this podcast is recorded. I give my deepest respect to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge sovereignty has never been ceded. And just a reminder, you can get a free mini astrology report that includes a very detailed birth chart from Astrology in You. And I created a video to show you how you can create a free birth chart with transits at astro.com. You can find the podcast on iTunes as well as Spotify, YouTube, Google Play and Stitcher. And both of these are really helpful with any astrology you are following. So briefly on the moon, in evolutionary astrology, we see the moon as our ego. Our ego is our self-image. It's how we see ourselves internally. It's our subjective filter by which we view the world based on our childhood conditionings, societal conditionings, cultures, and experiences. The moon is also associated with our emotions, intuitions and sensitivities. Knowing your moon sign assists with the management of your emotions, your issues of safety, the inner child, our nurturing needs, the relationship with our parents, in particular to our mother. And knowing another's moon sign is also very, very helpful in our relationships. Full moons bring things to a culmination and completion stage for release and letting go, so we can begin the new cycle in the new phase. And to begin something new, we must let go of the old. Full moons are an ideal time to look more closely at where we feel emotionally blocked, as the full moon illuminates and brings things out into the light to be addressed. And check the work of Byron Katie for a powerful but gentle process that she offers for free, and you can see the link below. Full moons illuminate issues of our life we keep secret or hidden, and also coincide with exposing the truth, whether that's in the public arena or in our own individual lives. With the sign of Gemini, Gemini is a mutable air sign ruling the third house, ruled by Mercury. It relates to all kinds of communications, short journeys, information, ideas, thoughts, and rhythm. Medically, Mercury represents the nervous system, which is the highway for the messages and commands sent within the body. The full moon in Gemini is a time to be social. It's easier meeting new people, sharing ideas, have some fun, a giggle, socializing, catching up with family and friends. I have a few friends that have Gemini Suns or have a lot of Gemini energy, and truly they're some of the funniest people I've ever met. Be prepared for lots of mental stimulation, as you may experience many ideas all coming at you at the same time and may find it difficult to choose the direction in which you want to go in. Your mind can take you in so many directions, pulling you this way and that, leaving you feeling scattered and unfocused. So some interesting facts about people born with strong Gemini energy. This is not only Gemini Sun, they have a Gemini Moon, they could have Gemini Rising, Gemini South Node, or lots of planets in the third house. And some of the interesting facts about these people is they are incredibly funny, very quick-witted, great at telling stories and jokes. A couple of famous people is Alan Carr. Alan Carr is a talk show host from England. He even calls himself the chatty man, and of course he is born under a Gemini Sun. Amy Schumer is another comedian, a very talented lady who also has a Gemini Sun. And there's also a man called Bill Hader. And Bill Hader does these incredible impressions of people. He's really hilarious and he's so talented. If you don't know of him, he played General Custer in Night at the Museum. I think it was the second one. Really, really funny man. And of course, one of the most famous Geminis of all was Marilyn Monroe. Now, Marilyn was not known for her joke-telling or quick-witted humour, but her voice. Her voice was very light and airy. She spoke very high in a very gentle voice. And often you'll find people that have strong Gemini energy, they do this also. One of the other things that people with strong Gemini energy can do is they can hold copious amounts of information. It is mind-boggling how much facts and knowledge and information they can recall at a moment's notice. This can work for you or against you. Of course, it can be very beneficial to you, but on the other side, one can have so much information that one can become paralyzed and stuck. So there's some interesting facts about people born with strong Gemini energy. Gemini represents diversity, duality, and choice. And because of this, Gemini can be indecisive but flexible and adapting to changing situations. With Gemini comes brilliant problem-solving abilities, thinking of the different options of all. When I think of Gemini, I relate it to quantum physics and the duality of the wave and particle. And what quantum physics tells us, there's unlimited options in the ocean of possibility. And it is only until we focus on that one outcome that the wave collapses and we can bring what we focus on into manifestation, which is the particle. One must remember this applies to not only what we want, but also what we don't want. And there's a link below to an incredible documentary called What the Bleep, explaining what quantum physics is about and untap that true power that we have within us. Now, if you have a problem, the full moon in Gemini is the ideal time to come up with solutions. See how many options and solutions you can come up with. Focus on one and go from there. In the Gemini full moon, your emotional state may be changeable, going up 1 minute and down the next. One last thing, Gemini correlates to communications, information, and the intellect. So those born with strong Gemini energy can get caught up in endless information gathering, overthinking, becoming overwhelmed, and even paralyzed in their decision making and actions. Sagittarius, where the sun is in the full moon in Gemini, is the polarity of Gemini. And Sagittarius aids with lessening nervous tension in freeing one's spirit. I find meditation is incredibly helpful, as I myself have a Gemini moon, so I can experience the constant thoughts and having that feeling of being scattered and unfocused. With the energy of Sagittarius assists us with speaking our own truth from our own perspective, which may not be welcomed or even liked by others, because it's about getting in touch with our own intuition and the teacher within. Sagittarius inspires us to look at the bigger picture where we connect with information in the learning process. We're still in the intense energy of the eclipses, and with these placements I can only speak very generally, as they are also stressful and tense. Just keeps going, doesn't it? With Mars in retrograde, it can feel like having one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. Retrograde motions get us to review, revisit, release, and even rebel. Wanting to move forward but being held back in some way can be very frustrating. Venus in Sagittarius helps find the value and love in your own truth, to set our spirit free, as the truth always sets us free. Remember, Venus rules the psychology of listening. It is truly about listening to ourselves and others. These stressful placements give us the drive to find better and different ways to address our challenges and difficulties. This is the purpose, and we can start by taking an objective look at the bigger picture. The full moon in Gemini is also in a T-square to Jupiter and Neptune, and these are both in Pisces. We are challenged again with the T-square, as it also comes with tension. Jupiter expands and Neptune dissolves. And being in the sign of Pisces, it's really all about love, cosmic love, human love. In the sign of Pisces, Jupiter and Neptune are making their way to the end of a cycle to begin the new in Aries. And Jupiter will leave Pisces on the 20th of December to enter Aries. Jupiter expands in all ways, and in Pisces things are dissolving so we can continue our evolutionary journey. We know we need to let go of certain things so we can travel beyond our limiting beliefs, our comfort zones, and engage our imagination to create what we want. And this requires freedom. As Jupiter moves into Aries, this will be very difficult to contain if you have not let go of what you know you must. Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is the focal point of this T-square, and it will be in Pisces till the 30th of March 2025. So we have a little bit of a way to go there. Neptune in Pisces is also associated with truth, dissolving all that has come before, and it has no boundaries. Truth always rises. It makes its way to the surface, pushing lies and corruption into the light. We are seeing this on a global scale, outing corruption, lies and betrayals, and there will be more revealed both collectively and in our own individual lives. So just before I move on, if you are going through a very challenging time, remember this too shall pass. Astrology is all about cycles. So moving on, Saturn in Aquarius is in a trine with the full moon in Gemini. And trines are considered a harmonious aspect where the energy flows with ease. Now Saturn can be uncomfortable in Aquarius. Saturn is authority, boundaries and structure, and Aquarius is freedom, liberation and equality. Saturn represents the old ways, while Aquarius the new. Aquarius is seeking equality, fairness and community, rebelling against the old ways that are outdated and no longer work. And we're seeing the old ways crumbling on a daily basis. We are entering a new age, and to do this we must let go of the old and outdated. We are all in an evolutionary process, maturing, developing and growing. This can be frightening in some ways for those who want to stay with the known and familiar. Even though it is not working, it's restricting, limiting and damaging. Saturn rules structure and boundaries, and we have to have structure and boundaries in our lives. I mean, after all, we have a skeletal system, which is the structure in our own body. But it is when these boundaries and structures become too restrictive, we see rebellion for liberation and freedom. The placement of Saturn in Aquarius is to find a new structure for our new future, one that serves all in equality, compassion for all beings that share our world. In summary, we are living through the greatest change humans have experienced in thousands of years. We are moving towards a future of equality and compassion for all who dwell here, and for this we need truth. And as I said before, truth always rises, so we see more exposure of corruption in our governments and the rich and powerful. But we must look at our own truth and be brave to live our lives in that truth, to liberate and set ourselves free. When we do this, we become more loving, kind, understanding, tolerant, appreciative, grateful and joyful. In saying all of that, how can we nurture ourselves with the full moon in Gemini? Well, starting medically, Gemini rules the nervous system, the lungs, respiratory system, hands, limbs, left brain and the right side of the body. So here are some suggestions I come up with. I always suggest meditation. If you don't meditate, start a daily meditation practice. There's many meditation videos on YouTube for beginners if you haven't meditated before, but I highly recommend it. Meditation calms the brain and the body. It just calms the whole body down. Pay attention to how you communicate to yourself and others. Watch that internal dialogue. Is it uplifting or is it criticizing? Have courage to let go of what no longer serves you. Watch some funny movies or indulge in other experiences that make you laugh. Meet up with friends or family to have a coffee and a chat. Have a go at writing a poem or lyrics to a song. You might surprise yourself, and maybe think about starting a journal. Write down any problems you are having and allow your mind to explore all the possible solutions. Do something creative or something crafty. After all, Gemini rules the hands. But above all, listen to your heart's intelligence. It is the center of your truth. We connect through our hearts to every living thing, to each other, the cosmos, and the divine creative source within. Be in the higher emotions of hope, peace, gratitude, joy, relief, and appreciation as much as you can. Thank you for listening, and welcome to all the new subscribers. I'm always thrilled to think we connect all over the world. Take care of yourself. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.